gosh, welcome back to Black Girl Wrestling. It's been a grip. I'm very bad at podcasting. I don't love doing it. I just think that there's a whole lot of podcasts out there that really fucking suck and are super like racist and sexist and whatever, and I was like, oh, like I'll make one and it like won't be those things. But then I realized I had to like actually like put work in and like make it, and that's where I'm struggling. But I think also, hi everybody, how's everybody doing? I think that what I'm just gonna try to do is just like make it as like normal as possible. Like I was like, I don't want to like, obviously because I'm trying to launch our YouTube channel, I was like, I don't want to like get ready and shit and like look nice and shit on our ignore that, like, you know, to be watched like on our stream. I was like, that sounds like a lot of effort after the day that I had. And so, you know what? It's my channel. So we're just not going to fucking do that, right? What we're going to do, we do some self-care. And we are going to talk about 5 years of Dynamite. And we're going to make some friendship bracelets while we do it, right? Because why the fuck not? All right? So yeah, kind of taking back Black Girl Wrestling, what I wanted it to be versus what some other people have told me it could be. Because I've had people tell me like, oh, like Danielle, like you have an opportunity and like for a platform or whatever, and all that's true. But like if I don't want to do it, then what's the point? You know, like if it's not fun, what's the point? So yeah, today is just a couple of girls talking. And if you're not a girl, if you're non-binary, just a couple of yappers. Because it is the 5-year anniversary of Dynamite on Wednesday. And so I thought it would be fun to kind of go through and tell y'all about 5 of my favorite, like, everything in AEW. Thinking more specifically about Dynamites. So, like, 5 of my favorite Dynamite women's matches. 5 of my favorite Dynamite men's matches. Like, multi-mans. 5 of my favorite promos, which I think is fun. You can tell me if it's not. I don't know. And 5 of the worst things AEW has ever done. Crimes that cannot be rectified. In my eyes. Because balance is important, okay? No company is perfect. AEW certainly isn't. Neither is any wrestling corporation. Like I said, any company. No billionaires. So I'm just kind of gonna yap about 5 of my favorite everything on Dynamite so far in these past 5 years. It's crazy to me that it's been 5 years. And honestly, like, I think AEW deserves a lot of credit for what it's been able to build in 5 years, considering that, like, the pandemic came at such an unfortunate time for them. Like, they were essentially still brand new at the height of when COVID kind of started to shut everything down. So the reality and the ability to be able to bounce back from that, to get through it, bounce back from it, it was a strange time for all of us as human beings, as our healthcare infrastructure collapsed. Our friends and family got sick. Some of them passed. And we watched the environment adapt around us. It was odd, you know, and wrestling was certainly no exception at the time. My computer keeps shutting off. I have the most rinky-dink setup, y'all. I literally, like, you can tell, but but what the fuck ever? Am I gonna put money in this shit when I'm not making any money? No. All I'm doing right now is yapping, so this gets the yap budget. Also, I have like this, never mind. Not everything needs to be shared on the internet, Danielle. Anyway, so I'm gonna start with 5 of my favorite women's matches. So the women's division has obviously gone through a lot in AEW. Lots of ups, lots and lots and lots of downs. But I think at the end of the day, like, there have always been quality performers on that roster. We've talked about it a million times. Everybody at every podcast has, but who cares? They're not me. The reality being that AEW did not really have any known stars coming into the formation of the women's division at the very beginning. So everything had to be built from the ground up, which was completely different to the rest of the divisions. Like we had tag teams that we knew of in AEW when it first started. We had single stars that we had already heard of on the mainstream level here in the US. Not mainstream, but Chris Jericho was there. Which I'll get into. But Kenny was there. The Bucks were there. People were following the Elite there, and there wasn't that for the women's division. So the early days of AEW women's division, there are definitely, I would say on the week to week, struggled, to kind of find its footing, to find its positioning. A lot of that, again, can be attributed to booking, because you knew you had to create new stars, so create new stars, and it shouldn't just be one singular, anyways. Not to get to talking about that. But, yeah, so one of my favorite matches, and I'm going to try to do this without, I wrote some notes, believe it or not. I was a little bit prepared. I'm going to try to do this without some of my notes, because I'm using my phone as a flashlight, and I feel like if I take it off, it's going to be kind of ugly. But, anyway, into my 5 favorite women's matches. I'll start talking about my 5 favorite men's matches. I want to emphasize what I intend for this to be, okay? This is not me standing up here telling you objectively what the 5 best matches are in AEW Dynamite's history in each category. I'm saying what I liked best, what I had the most fun of. So I don't want to hear, oh, there's too much of this person, there's none of this person. Maybe I hate that bitch, okay? But also say, getting it down to 5 is super hard. And these, like I said, I just went with my gut. These are my favorite matches, and I wasn't gonna lie to y'all, because say a lot of things about me here at Black Girl Wrestling. Can't say I'm not a real one. So, my 5 favorite men's matches. I have 6 on here. Well, I can't count. But my 5 favorite men's matches. Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe. That whole rivalry really, really tickled my fancy. I had a lot of fun with that whole rivalry. Honestly, anytime that Darby's getting his ass beat, I'm having a good time. I want to see him the way he wants to see himself, which is flung around. And Samoa Joe has just such a presence. In addition to his wrestling ability, he looks scary as fuck in addition to being scary as fuck. He looked big as hell in addition to being big as hell. He feels like somebody that could beat anybody's ass, let alone Darby Allin. He's just little, so I really enjoyed that. I loved that rivalry because, like I said, Darby versus the big man gonna do it every time for me. Samoa Joe doing I think it was Brody King that did it first, but I think Samoa Joe did it better, of just hanging Darby's lifeless body over the top rope. I love that. I love that shit. Is there something wrong with me? Anyway, but no, that's up there for me. And again, these matches are not in any particular order. Next is Swerve versus Takeshita. Guys, you know me. Kinosuke Takeshita and we go way back. And I honestly feel like both of these individuals, I could have put different matches for them. But I think, again, staying true to myself and what I liked the most, I loved this match. Even though I think it could have gotten more time, it could have gone longer. I think that Swerve's wrestling style is something that meshes really well with somebody like Takeshita, because Takeshita is so versatile, and Swerve is so quick, and Swerve's strikes look like they're crisp, they're sharp, and Takeshita is equally that way, but he's just so big, he's just huge, So it's just so interesting to me to see those two go at it. And I think that Swerve, in terms of, Takesha's always, he shouldn't be, but like always a good building block. Like you're never gonna have a bad match with Konosuke Takesha, and like the floor is good. I think Swerve was the element that took it to great. And I would love to see these two run it back in a way where it feels like more believable, you know, because this was a match that we all knew what the outcome was going to be. But I think that, yeah, I would love to one day see that matchup with a little bit less predictability, because I think it'd go crazy. What else we got? Oh, Kenny Omega versus El Hijo del Vikingo. This one I'm particularly partial to because I was there. And seeing the things that Vikingo can do, it's like actually insane. Like, you should not be able to move your body like that. That's intimidating. And yeah, like I said, being there, that table spot, I think about it all the time. And I hope to see Vikingo, obviously he was out injured. I hope to see him back in AEW as soon as possible and as frequently as possible, because I want to see him. I think Collision should be the Vikingo show. I loved it. I've never been quiet about my love for Kenny Omega, but this match wasn't about him. This match was about showcasing how good Vikingo was, and it did exactly that. And like I said, I was there. I loved it. When I look back on it, I look back on the night fondly, even though a lot happened that night, so I probably shouldn't. But that made my, like, I was gonna say month, but like, what's longer than a month? Because it was better than that. My quarter, you know, I don't know. And Kenny Omega obviously agrees with me because it's still his pinned tweet. So yeah. I loved it. I loved it. And, you know, when you're there, it's just always that added element of, like, interest and that added, like, emotional attachment that you have to it. Because I could go back and rewatch it now and be like, oh, I don't like it as much. I think it's highly unlikely because Vikingo is a crazy, one-of-a-kind specimen. But, you know, being there just changes it. And the fact that we got that on Dynamite, like, on free TV, we should have paid for that. Not me. Because I shouldn't pay for anything. But you bitches should have paid for that. Next, Bryan Danielson and Hangman. Hangman, answer me now. You owe me a debt. You stole him from me. This was in a strange era in Hangman's title reign, which was obviously cut so incredibly short, in my opinion. So it was a great showcase of Hangman's abilities. It was also in the era when Bryan Danielson like refused to win. And yeah, I think when we talk about Hangman as a performer, I think a lot of times we give him the credit that is due because he is, for his character work, because he's one of the most compelling, probably the most compelling character in wrestling, and the most believable. Fuck, I messed up the pattern. And but his bell to bell in this was phenomenal. And I think, especially considering and like on top of the character work, was he needed to believe that he could do it. Like, he needed to believe that he could win that match. And it just meant so much to me when our little cowboy was able to do that. So yeah, Danielson, Hangman. I have 2 more matches on here. I know I said 5, but it's my fucking show. They're both Kenny Omega matches. Omega Danielson. I mean, what can you say? It's my 2 goats. Absolutely, far and away, my 2 goats. And everybody felt it. You could feel the energy there. That was Grand Slam, but it was still free. Like, it was still Dynamite, so I'm gonna count it. Because I mean, it's not a pay-per-view, right? Yeah, because you don't pay. I'm an idiot. But yeah, The holy shit chants from the beginning, deservedly so. It's just a match that seemed so impossible for so long, and so to finally get it, it's so personal to me, and we need to run it back. It's not even fucking funny. Neither one of you hoes are allowed to retire until I get that pay-per-view rematch with the winner. This is the one match in the history of AEW. I hate the time limit draws because I think it gives the impression, as it rightly should, in my opinion, I think it gives the impression that these two people are on the same level. And I think that you do the match to prove that that's not true, if that makes sense. Like, there is somebody better. So I'm not a fan of the time limit draw finish. This was perfect for that. And in my opinion, probably the only match in AEW's history that should not have had a clear winner. It should have been a time limit draw. Given the timing of everything, Kenny wasn't going to lose. So Danielson coming in, you weren't going to win, but also, you're not going to fucking lose. You just got here. So, yeah, that match, when I go back and I think of the way that match made me feel, like, I just get, like, jittery in my heart. Oh, that's probably not good. It's probably, like, a sign of something. But it will always hit for me. And it will always make me tear up a little bit, knowing that, like, inevitably both of them are much closer to the end of their careers than they are the beginning. And so just the prospect of not being able to get that, I'm just glad that we have it. And like I said, nobody gets to retire until Danielle, get my pay-per-view match with a clear winner. So there's that. And then my bonus match is Omega Pac. Pac is like, if you've watched or paid attention to any of the stuff that I put on the internet, I have never understood how people, like, don't know what to do with Pac. He is so versatile and so dynamic as a performer. And I feel like his match with Kenny is one of the only on AEW where he's been given, like, the full reign and the opponent and the capacity to be able to do that. I feel the same about the Ospreay match, but that wasn't on a Dynamite, so it's not on here. Yeah, this match, it just means a lot to me. It's just two of my favorites, so there was just no way that it wasn't going to make, like, my own personal favorite list. Kenny also, like, in this match, looks so incredibly sharp in all of his movements, which you have to be against Pac. And yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about the Elite and Death Triangle also later, but I love this match. So those are my men's matches. Ooh. I might actually do, like, the multi-band in a different video because my computer's going to die and it doesn't work without being on the charger, but then I have to unplug my whole little setup and I'm not going to do that. So, moving on to my top 5 favorite mic moments in AEW. Again, you could look at this list and say, oh, Danielle, I hate that person. Oh, I guess you guys call me Danny. But you could say, hey, Danny, I hate that person. Like, oh, that feud didn't end up being very good. It's not about that. It's not about that. These are 5 moments that stick out to me that I have a soft spot for. Even though some of them are fucking crazy, so to have a soft spot for is, like, a little insane. But you have to be a little bit insane to like pro wrestling. You have to be even more insane to enjoy AEW and the crazy shit that they say on there. Also, guys, look at my shirt. I got this when I was in Italy, and it was funny because I had to go to the Ferrari store, and you're supposed to, like, make an appointment, and I very much didn't, and they were just, like, staring at me, and I was like, is anybody gonna help me? And they're like, you need to make an appointment. I was like, too late, I'm already here. Anyway. Top 5 favorite mic moments. You know, I have a soft spot for the Ricky Starks promo that he cut on MJF. He cut a promo so good that we were sitting here saying, there was conversation. Y'all not gonna sit up here and lie and say whatever you want about Ricky. This isn't about that. There was conversation when he cut this promo that maybe he should beat MJF. And it sticks out to me, and I say it all the time. He said, I'm slapping the mole off your neck. I said, now do it. Do it. Get him again, girl. Ricky is someone who can cut a promo and cut the promo of his life, and then the next time, like, it just won't hit the same. So I think he said before, like, that he is not a fan of, like, writing stuff down, and he very much just, like, kind of goes out there and on the fly. And I think that can be a blessing or it can be a curse. And this night against MJF, it was a blessing, and I think about it a lot. Please go back and watch it. It's actually so funny. And MJF so rarely, like, gets his T clocked. Like, he so rarely, like, gets so clearly, like, cleared that it when it happens, it means a lot to me. Like, last week, Daniel Garcia got his ass talking about, oh, yeah, in a couple years, you're going to end up with an ugly-ass baby. That's going to be disappointed of you, too. I said, oh, Daniel. Anyway, so that's up there. When Christian Cage looked at this bitch and said, there's not a God, because if there was a God, Ric Flair would have been dead 20 years ago. There's something wrong with you. Your Honor. What the fuck? For you to actually say that, like, I know we say a lot of stuff about Christian Cage because 9 times out of 10, what he's saying is incredibly out of pocket. That was insane to look at somebody dead ass and, like, you had conviction in your voice. That was terrifying. I loved it. Another Christian Cage favorite of mine, when he told Matt Hardy, you're making your brother look like the sober one. See, God. Well, you just told me how you feel about that. But yeah, get help. What else is up there for me? Time to Be a Legend promo. Jon Moxley. I think in addition to me just, like, really liking it and feeling compelled by it, Ospreay has said that it was the promo that made him really want to come to AEW. And I think Ospreay is AEW's best signing in years. Ospreay and Mercedes. Don't get it twisted. And Okada. The big three. You already know. But yeah, so it did work there. Hangman's Workers' Rights promo. I said what I said. And I won't be elaborating. And my own personal favorite, I tweet it all the time because it is literally, like, my favorite thing on the internet. It's my favorite thing the AEW has ever done. And it's Kenny Omega and Hangman. And the crowd is chanting, cowboy shit, cowboy shit. And Kenny goes, no, I'm going to take an extra measure of pleasure when cowboy shit turns into belt collector. Belt collector. I reference that, like, every day. Like, it's become, like, a thing in our house. Like, we'll start chanting that. And then whenever we're at a sporting event and they'll be like, oh, you know, like, go team, we'll be like, belt collector. Belt collector. I love when things are fun. I didn't say these were, like, the best promos or these. I might have said that. I didn't mean that. These are just my 5 favorite mic moments. And then also, of course, anything Eddie Kingston does. I'm not abiding by my own rule of, like, 5, but tell me about it. Also, y'all, I finished my first bracelet of the night. You can't see. I'm not a YouTuber for real. It says Okada. It's my first Okada bracelet. I'm going to a premium live event. I'm kidding. A pay-per-view soon. So I'm making friendship bracelets. So if you see me, come ask for one. And then I'll be like, why the fuck are you talking to me? And then I'll be like, oh my god, thanks for being a fan of Bronco Wrestling. You gotta go through the whole cycle. Anyway, yeah, multi-man, maybe I'll make another video. Essentially, all of the top 5 spots I will give to the Elite versus Death Triangle for their 5-game series, mainly because I was able to go to 2 of them. Means a lot to me. Also, the street fight, I don't remember what it was. Parking lot brawl, Santana Ortiz versus Best Friends, that's up there for me. And Stadium Stampede, of course. Anarchy in the Arena, maybe, too. I love some blood and guts. I do love some guts and some blood. But yeah, I didn't actually write that down. That'll have to be another video. But moving on to my 5 worst moments in AEW's history. A lot of these are MJF promos. MJF's racist promo to Takeshita, where he mispronounces his name and looks at him and says Konnichiwa and shit. Why was that allowed on TV? Like, that's not cute. That's not fun. And people being like, oh, like, y'all soft. Like, you know, back in my day. Da-da-da. It's not your fucking day. It's mine. It's my day, bitch. It's not your day. That was crazy, and it should have never been allowed to be on TV. And it took Takeshita a while to recover from that, just presentation-wise. So I will always be mad about that. Fuck off. Next was when Matt Hardy owned Private Party. What the hell was that? It was like a long time too, where Matt Hardy like owned Isaiah Cassidy's like contracts, and he like worked for them, and like he couldn't get out of his contract. Whose idea was that? Who is it not clicking that maybe we should have kept this one in the drafts? Not even in the drafts. Who comes up with something like that and says that'll be okay to put on TV? Deleted. Next, Learning Tree. Christopher Jericho. Y'all know I don't like Chris Jericho. I used to be a Y2J girl. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's the current form of Chris Jericho that I just can't get down with. The Learning Tree, I hate that shit. I hate that shit down. And I know it's supposed to be ironic. It's supposed to be like self-aware, whatever. It doesn't feel like any of those things. It just feels like a waste of my fucking time. I hate it. Next was Brandy's "Well, I'm a black bitch." Just confuses me more than anything. And I wish so bad that I would have been doing Black Girl Wrestling when that happened, because like I can just imagine like the stuff I would have been able to put out. I just don't get it. That's just one to me that I don't get how we got there. And AEW I think tries to forget it too, but I can't forget. I can't. And then last but not least was when MJF said he was going to strap Wardlow to the cross like Jesus. Why? You know? like why? Like, just say you're going to beat his ass. Jesus? Why is the Lord and Savior in here? And I'm not even one of those people that's like, leave Jesus out of this. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Jesus was the good guy. Reportedly. Why would you do that? That was just odd to me. Those are 5 things that if AEW was like formed today, and I could go back and erase from its history, I would start with those 5 things. Again, I didn't do any research or like to actually like remember these things. These were just the 5 first things that came to mind when it's like, oh, I hated that shit. I really, really hated that shit. So there's that. Okay, and so finally, 5 things that I still need to see on Dynamite. Golden Lovers tag run, FTR shoulders to the mat. Expeditiously. I don't want to hear shit. Oh, I don't want to see the Golden Lovers in 2024. I didn't fucking ask you. I didn't. Not even a little bit. Okay? When Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi come back, they need to be tag team champions. And Cash Money. No, that's Okada's name. How dare I disrespect Kazuchika Okada like that? My bad, Cash Money Kazu. Bald and hair. Criminal and accomplice. Shoulders to the mat. And I want you to taste it. I want you to sit in it for a second. Stay there in your own sweat. Let the tears drop down your face into your mouth. I hope they're salty. I hope they have a tang to them. 1, 2, 3. Same with I need Takeshita as world champion, putting MJF's shoulder to the mat. Like I said, we got to get our lick back about that racist promo. We're just not going to let that slide. And Takeshita needs to be world champion sooner rather than later. And MJF needs to lose some. He does. That's not even me being somebody that like dislikes him. Like, it's not even that. I don't dislike you. You've just been winning too much. And you're not going to be world champion anytime soon. So, shoulders to the mat for our new world champion. Willow, world champion title defense against Rio. Run that shit back. Run it back with excuse me. I mean, I want Rio as world champion one day too, again. With Willow as world champion. I want to see that title match. And I want to see how it would be different in the 2024 landscape of AEW and where it would land. Also, Eddie Kingston live mic 10 minutes. I don't care. I think they should let Swerve say the N-word on AEW TV. One time. And then we'll, like, put it to red, and then, like, I know the discourse will be out the wazoo. I don't give a fuck. One time. I think it should be in the Hurt Business feud. Just one time, get it out the way, we all move on. But yeah, other than that, that is all I have. I didn't make it very far in my second friendship bracelet, because I was just yapping too much. But I guess that's the point of a podcast. I would love to actually hear, I know people say this and they don't mean it. I want to hear what other people's 5 favorite, or like Dynamite favorites for the past 5 years are. Like I said, I keep saying, I didn't research or anything. So I'm sure there were some things that I missed and some hidden gems that I didn't go back enough to look at in thinking about this and making this list. So if anybody has anything else they would like to add, please tell me. That would be fun. Happy 5 years of Dynamite. I'm happy that AEW exists. It really renewed a spark in my love for wrestling. So yeah, that is, I don't have like a rant today. I'm actually doing pretty well. So so I don't have anybody like call out or like any hatred to like pass on to the people. I mean, I always have hatred, but like nothing in particular. So we'll just have to circle back till next time. Next time, I won't let it be so long in between. I know I say it every time, but like, I legit, like, where I record my podcast or whatever, I left my water bottle down here. Okay, last time I did it. I haven't done this for so long that I literally forgot about it and bought a new water bottle because I couldn't find it. Like, it's been that long since I've been down here to do this. I'm gonna be better at it, but at the same time, life is hard. And people are mean. And 9 times out of 10, I don't care. But remember that I'm me. And they're them. How unfortunate for them. Yeah, that's all. Make sure that you follow the... What did I just forget? What's it called? It's Black Wrestling. Make sure that you follow Black Girl Wrestling. At Black Girl Wrestling on Instagram, Twitter. We're reinvigorating our TikTok and now on YouTube. If this works, if this doesn't work, I'm literally gonna like jump off something really tall. But yeah, Twitter for sure, and follow me on Twitter at Danny Don't Miss. And if you made it to the end of this episode, please act like I said like the wildest shit in the world and like tag me on Twitter being like, Danielle, you are fucking canceled. How dare you? Maybe I did, but yeah. Tell people I offend other people. I think that's fun. Not offending people. You know. Anyway, bye.